The SMART framework is timeless. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, and it's time-bound. Hi, this is Clarity Coach Lucy, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to November Tips on Preparing for 2023 series, episode 2. Now, in episode 1, we covered the 5 emotions that could stop you from moving forward. Remember, this particular series is targeted to sole entrepreneurs who have businesses and a workforce of less than 3 people. But this does not mean that it cannot apply to you and your personal life and the things that you want to achieve in life. So as you're thinking business, also think your personal life and different areas in your life. Great to see you there, Nancy. Welcome to the Tuesday Talks of today, episode 2. So with episode 1, the recording of that session has been uploaded onto our YouTube channel, which is LMC Consultancy. And while you're there, remember to hit the 2 buttons, subscription and notification, because once you hit these buttons, you will be advised of any upcoming recordings that have been posted or anything new that we want you to know about. However, I will share with you the takeaways of episode 1. So in episode 1, the first takeaway was about matters around anger and revenge. And around matters, anger and revenge, my advice and tip to you in episode 1 was don't get mad. Use that energy and get motivated. That was tip number 1, and I do hope you have tried out, exercised, and succeeded with this tip in this past week. If not, I tell you, time is still in your hands and you can still try. Do not get mad. Use that energy and get motivated. Now, when it came to tip number 2, it was around guilt and sadness. And these are very natural for us as beings. And my advice around guilt and sadness is seek peace as your personal right. Because where there is peace, you will be able to create and move forward, be inspired and be motivated. And therefore, these emotions cannot hold you back. And last but not least, remember there were 5. So we've mentioned 4 already. The 5th one was resentment. Don't we always experience resentment? Even if it is to a little degree? Well, my advice to you with resentment was, drop it. Drop it and get back into the battle. Get back into the game. And let us live to fight another day. Well, today is another day, and episode 2 is a continuation to episode 1. Today's episode is all about the 5 easy steps to accomplishing your goals. Remember, it's not only about business, but in every aspect of your life. Whatever goal it is that you decide you want to achieve, you will be able to get 5 easy steps from our session today. Episode number 3 will be about starting right. It'll be giving you tips on how to start right. Whatever it is that you're doing, again, I will help you with tips on that. And episode number 4 is tactics to motivating your customers. So you've started. How then do you motivate customers to buy? Episode 4. And last but not least, episode 5 will be about supercharging your referrals. People spread the work that you are doing by referrals. It could be just by word of mouth. So how do you supercharge that? So those will be the 5 episodes of these November series that I will be taking you through. When I started and as I continue my business, these are the 5 easy steps that I found worked for me. And I thought I would share them with you. And I realized that I was also applying them in my personal life. So, do not worry. I did it. You can do it too. So are you excited? And are you ready to start with me on this journey, on these 5 easy steps? Well, let's jump straight in. Thank you so much for joining me here, Nancy, Marjorie, and Linda. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to join us this November as we prepare for 2023. So that anything that we come up and we say we are going to achieve, that we are engaged in our minds consciously to do it. New Year's resolutions are around the corner, and usually they are the culprits because our resolutions come from a point of emotions. When we set out our resolutions, it depends the kind of environment that we are in. It could be peer pressure that we've decided we're doing something. It could be that we have looked at our self-audit like I encouraged you to do in our last episode, and we've realized there are certain areas that we need to work on personally to move forward. Whatever environment it is that you decide to have a New Year's resolution on, I do hope that these 5 simple steps are going to help you just dive into it. So talking about diving, let's dive straight into them. So SMART framework is timeless, like I said. And just to repeat, it is SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And it is easy to apply to your goals. You need to apply all of them. Now, there are some people who have taken the 5 and added 1 or 2 others at the end. And usually it is around the changing innovation times, or it is around the changing measurable times, because that gets measured gets done. Or it could be application of technology, or it could be about resilience and reviewing. It's up to you. There is a standard framework, and if you've never heard of it, look it up. But for today, this framework has been known to help ensure that your objectives are tangible and that they're attainable within a certain time frame, so that you're not leaving it open-ended. It is something that you can do. And usually my advice when it comes to setting SMART goals, SMART objectives, SMART ideas is just get something that is just outside your reach. Just outside your reach. In my personal life, I used this a lot with my children during the time when they were in school. So, if my child was able to get a certain score or ranking or mark in the previous semester, we took that mark and we marked it up. We had a discussion and said, what do you think that you can achieve? Well, Mom, I can achieve maybe 1 or 2 points, percentage points over this, so that I can grow towards the bigger goal. And then I would add another 1 or 2 so that I stretch them slightly beyond their comfort zone. Because if you feel comfortable about what you're doing, then you're just in your comfort zone. You're not challenging yourself. But the minute you start feeling uncomfortable, then we know you have a goal that you will be able to look at as attainable, that you will be able to wake up and want to achieve. Yeah? So, if that is a SMART framework, it therefore follows that one must exercise a single-mindedness. A single mind. Where did I get this from? Well, the 11th president of India, did you know his name? Well, his name, he's dearly past at the moment. His name is was Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam, he quoted a very powerful quote. He said, to achieve in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. So if you decide to do something, that is where your focus is, to achieve this goal. And I'm hoping my 5 steps today are going to help you to do this. Welcome, Sharon. It's good to see you here. So that was the quote from the 11th president of India, Abdul Kalam. Well, with a SMART framework in hand and the single-minded devotion in mind, a written plan will help you document, action, review, and measure your goals. So here are the 5 easy steps. Let's dive in. Step number 1, establish a definite date. Don't leave it open-ended. When you establish a definite date, you are driven towards it. You want to be able to pick a date, a completion date, and work backwards. Yes, you heard me right. Work backwards. For instance, think about a project. And in project management, there is a term that goes like this: day 0. You most probably have heard of day 0. And if it didn't make any sense to you, day 0 just means we've come to the end. This is the day when things are happening. So for now, in my personal life, my day 0, I've got 2 day 0s, but I prefer the first one. My first day 0 is Christmas Day. Christmas Day is my day 0. That means that's my long-term plan. I have daily action plans that I'm working towards, my long-term plan. And those daily action plans, I'm calling them short-term plans or short-term goals. That means every day I get to do something. One of them is actually listing down who gets a Christmas present and what will it be. And then I start going around and looking where I can find these things, or having a conversation with the individuals and identifying. Well, I'll put that aside. That's a story for another day, just as an example. So for the sake of our session today, we'll be looking at the time period of a month. So for an example, set a goal for the end of the month. That means end of the month, day 0 will be, this is the month of November, day 0 will be the 30th of November. That is my long-term goal. What is it? Maybe for my business or maybe for you, it could be about building a digital footprint. Maybe that's what it is. Now, it has to be more specific and measurable than that, but you get the idea. Apply the SMART acronym to that goal and make it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. But we have a day 0 now. Now we work backwards. What do I need to do today, which is now the 8th of November, as a short-term goal to achieve my long-term goal? Do you get it now? Yes, we're breaking it down. So establishing a definite date allows me to have a day 0. This way, you are setting short and long-term goals. And each day, as you accomplish your short-term goals, you move one step closer to accomplishing your long-term goal. It's actually as simple as that. That's why it's called 5 easy steps to accomplishing your goal. So don't forget to include personal development goals and days off, because you need to take time out, you need to take care of your mental wellness, and taking me time is important so that you can come back rejuvenated, you can come back re-energized. So that is step number 1. Step number 2 is keep a calendar. Now, why do we keep a calendar? As I said, the 8th of November, working towards the 30th of November, we want to be able to have first sight on what we are doing. So take the goal that you have and set it at the end of the month. Whether it's going to be with a tick, with a cross, with a red dot, it's up to you. But put it there so that every time you look at it on the wall, you know that's what you're going for. In my corporate world, I always had a calendar, an annual calendar, and I had it right behind me. In fact, one day I will post a picture where you can actually see the calendar behind me. And I would put my goals there, my sales and marketing goals over there. And I knew what my day 0s were because there were quite a few of them. So write that goal on the last day of your month, whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe we could use my example of creating a digital footprint for yourself. You're starting a company and you want this awareness. So you want to create a digital footprint. Now write down the short-term goals for each day through to the end of the month. You can do that. It's actually quite simple to do. And if you must, then give yourself the flexibility and write it in pencil so that you can rub it and change it according to what you think is going to serve your long-term goal. Now, once you have this first sight, you can see the progression. Every time that you achieve something, you're just ticking off and ticking off and ticking off. A 21-day action plan actually gives you the space to create a habit. Once you create a habit on the 22nd, 23rd day, this thing is already in your DNA and you're already wanting to do something about it. See how that works? 21-day action plan is your friend. So start putting it onto your calendar and tick as the days go by and watch yourself make progress. That is number 2. Number 3 is one item at a time. Stay focused. If you stay focused, you're able to progress even faster and meaningfully. It is about you knowing what you're doing. Don't try to cram everything into one day. At least you've got 21 days. So let's take that example of creating this digital footprint for your company. And what does it look like? Maybe you want to try and post a blog, or you want to create content, or you want to take photographs, or you want to Google. And, I had a crazy time trying to get images and free images, because it does cost when you go onto the internet to try and get images. And that took a lot of my time. And so I etched out certain days on my calendar when I could go in and either create images or take photographs and come and put them onto my application called Canva. And I got better and better at this. But I digress. So maybe you want to post blogs, you want to create content, you want to take photographs, you want to create a classified ad, you want to participate in groups and submit articles and so on. All in one day, you will burn out. I know. I got my own fair share of burnout. So don't cram it all in one day. Space it out. Decide what you want to do over that period of time towards your day 0. So you focus on 1 or 2 things every day and then cross it off or tick. I love to cross off and tick, because then I'm able to see it. I don't miss anything. Mark it on your calendar on the days you complete the scheduled tasks. That means there will be days you will not complete the scheduled tasks, and that is okay. It's the journey, it's the learnings that we are picking. This helps us to build our self-confidence. You can actually see the things that you're doing well and the things that fall under learnings. And tomorrow you are able to be more flexible about it and do it differently. Does that make sense for you? Well, I hope it does. We go on to step number 4. Set a time limit. Aim for 1 or 2 hours per day. Don't take it 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours a day. You see, by limiting the time you are spending and focusing on 1 or 2 tasks every day, you build momentum and you increase your success rate. As you go on ticking off the boxes and crossing off, you stay motivated, inspired. You want to wake up tomorrow and get to the next action plan. You want to wake up tomorrow and get to the next learning point. You want to keep on whetting your appetite to keep moving forward. For those of you who know me, those of you who've attended my trainings, I advocate for falling forward, moving forward. That means there's change. You are different from the person you were a few seconds ago. This is growth. So as you build momentum, optimize that success by limiting the time so that you can stay creative. If you spend too much time doing one thing, your brain gets tired. You get distracted. And that purpose that you had for that specific action, then it becomes diluted. So it is okay. If you know your attention span is 45 minutes, then that's what it is. If you know your attention span is 2 hours, then that's what it is. You want to be able to have done that self-audit on yourself to know what clicks for you. Well, that is step number 4. Step number 5, stick with it. Oh yes, you heard me right. Stick with it. Yes, at times we have to be flexible and change a few things, but trust the process. There is a process. Things don't happen overnight. for it to become a well-oiled machine, for you to have 21 days of action plans, and on day 22, 23, 24, it becomes something natural for you, you have to trust the process. So stick with your schedule. Switching things up too often can get in the way of success. It can get in the way of learning. If you multitask too much beyond your capacity and your capability, you lose the nuances. Did I say it right? The nuances of the things that you are learning, the essence of what is landing for you will be lost. So you need to give it time. If you must switch, then wait for the process to happen and then switch. Apply flexibility. Good things do take time. I love to bake. And if I was to put that cake in the oven and keep on opening the oven before the timer is off, then my cake will not come out well. There is a process that I have to trust. So just in the way we're looking at that cake baking well, we want to look at our goals and the process of our short-term and our long-term goals. Remember to measure your progress. It is very important that as you stick with it and trust the process, you need to measure your progress. Once you measure your progress, you get a pat on the back from self that you know you are growing. You know in the places that need improvement, you're taking them and you're noting them down. Tomorrow when you wake up on day 1, 2, 3, 4, day 21 of your action plans, you know what to adjust according to your learnings. Now that is step number 5. With a written plan like this one on that board, you will make accomplishing your goals much easier. Now, at the end of the month, which is the example we were using, when you see more ticks and more crossed out lines than empty spaces, you'll feel more accomplished. So what were the 5 easy steps? Please, let us say them together. Step number 1, establish a definite date. Step number 2, keep a calendar. This way, you always have a first sight on day 0 and how you're approaching day 0 with progress. Step number 3, one at a time. We do not want burnout. We want to be able to see this journey to the end. Step number 4, set a time limit. Be conscious of your attention span. What is it for you? And apply step number 5. Stick with it. Trust the process. Now, by implementing these 5 easy steps to accomplishing your goals, you'll find yourself reaching and accomplishing the long-term goal. Remember I talked about Christmas Day? Well, I'm getting there. Still a long way to go, but a lot of work to be done. Now, this process can be applied to any goal in the different areas in your life. And yes, you can do it. Well, we've come to the end of our session today on the 5 easy steps to accomplish your goals. And I'm thankful that you have joined me. I just hope that you have taken in some insights today and you're already seeing where you can apply. Well, the takeaways, I cannot leave you without takeaways. By applying these 5 steps, you will make progress. You will definitely make progress. Whether it is progress in your successes or progress in your learnings, you will make progress because you're noting it down and you can see it on your calendar. Secondly, you will have self-confidence. You will actually see that you can do it. It's working. And really, it's not that terrible. If you fail at something, you just get up and try something else. But that does not shift the long-term goal. That does not shift your day 0. It just makes you get creative. What do I need to do today to still get to my day 0? And number 3, the takeaway is staying motivated. The worst thing is to wake up in the morning and just not want to do what you set out to do. Isn't it just amazing when you put your mind to something and every day you are looking forward to that sunrise so that you can get back to your 45 minutes, your 1 hour, your 2 hours, your 3 hours. so that you can get back to your short-term goal of the day to meet your long-term goal. So yes, those are the 3 takeaways for today. The recording of this episode will be available on our YouTube channel, LMC Consultancy, by this evening. A super reminder, while you're there, remember to hit the 2 buttons, subscribe and notification, so that you can be advised of any new recordings that have been uploaded. Join me for episode 3 of our November Tips on Preparing 2023 series. The topic is simple rules on how to start right. And this is a follow-up to episode 1 and episode 2. In the meantime, remember to like our Facebook page and follow us on IG to receive regular updates on same topics like these, or on talks that we have, or on any trainings that we have. This particular time, we have come up with one specific training for you. And this training is about preparing for 2023, and the cost is 15,000 shillings, where you will be able to identify, plan and execute your 2023. Direct message me and I'll give you more details, or look out on our postings on Facebook, IG and LinkedIn for more information. So visit our website lmcconsultancy.com for more updates. Let us help build each other. Until then, be kind to yourselves. Bye-bye now.